Welcome to Inspiring Nations with Sonja Keeve Radio Show, an affiliate of Creative Broadcasting and TALK Radio TV Network LLP. Question: where do you draw your inspiration? Join us as we feature women from across the globe with incredible stories of how they inspire nations every day. Now, here is your host, Sonja Keeve.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another amazing edition of Inspiring Nations Radio Show, an affiliate of Creative Broadcasting and Talk Radio TV and LLP. And today on the show, we have an amazing guest, and we have none other than Miss DeAndrea Byrd. And let me share just a little bit about her. She is a self-taught entrepreneur who has launched multiple successful businesses in both the brick-and-mortar setting as well as the online market. Over the years, her brands have grown and blossomed into a higher purpose. As a seasoned business strategist and coach, DeAndrea has a passion for entrepreneurship and now enjoys sharing the process she used to grow and by helping other entrepreneurs achieve their dreams. She has a main focus in the areas of business strategy, profit-focused productivity, digital product creation, and automation. She founded the Entrepreneur Accountability Squad, which is a group coaching membership designed for entrepreneurs looking to scale up their business and increase their personal development skills. And so without further ado, for my listening audience, please welcome the amazing Miss DeAndrea Byrd. Well, hello, superstar.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be on the show. How are you today?
I am wonderful, and we are so honored to have you. And I know that I read just a little bit about your bio, but outside of what I shared, just share with my listening audience just a little bit more about who you are and whom you serve.
So you told everybody who I was as a business owner, but I'll tell everybody who I am is just DeAndrea. So I'm born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. I tell everybody East Atlanta made me and DeKalb County raised me.
All right.
So I'm from Atlanta, born here, raised here. 3 kids. I'm married to my high school sweetheart. Oh. I love to eat.
Hey, who doesn't?
And I'm a mom first. I am a entrepreneur, but I'm a mom first, and they're my reasons on why I even wanted to start a business.
That is amazing. And, and I was just blown away when I was reading your bio and just seeing all of the amazing things you're doing. And that's, why I love my show, because I get to meet such amazing women across this nation who just have these amazing stories of how they inspire others every day. And so we're going to get into a juicy topic. I was really excited when I heard what we were going to talk about today. And the topic today we're going to talk about is relationships are the new currency, the art of leveraging connections, collaborations, and accountability. So let's get into this talk right now. So tell me, when you talk about this whole new currency, what do you mean?
So I think a lot of times people get into entrepreneurship, they only focus on making money.
Right.
And it takes them a longer and a harder road when they don't focus on, number one, service. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to have a service heart because you have to be solving a problem. But it's a give me world. So people are inboxing people, hey, I want to be a part of this, but they're not having anything to offer that person. So those no's could have easily been yes or maybe later if they, leverage the art of communicating effectively what they had to bring to the table and leveraging a relationship in the end.
And the thing that I love about what you just said, in business as an entrepreneur, the successful business entrepreneur develops a relationship first. Because what I found that is people will buy from those that they know, like, and trust, correct?
Correct. If I don't know you and I don't like you, why would I buy anything from you? I don't even trust you yet.
Absolutely. And so the art of communicating, I think, is so key. So what I'd like to know is, why do you think having a clear communication is so difficult?
Because people focus on their needs first, but if they take just a step back and figure out how can I add value to this person or to this organization, before I reach out in need, how can I add value? So if you're constantly adding value, then that's going to get the attention of somebody like, wow, okay, they want to add value, and it's like a reciprocal. A lot of times people put the selfish energy out, and that's what's returned back to them because they're always taking and not adding value, so the value is not coming back to them.
Say that again, please. As she said, there is no value that is coming back to you when you don't give of yourself first. And so another point that you made right at the top of the hour was that, many people get in the game of entrepreneurship and fail because they come at it from the point of this me mentality, but they don't enter into it with the idea of how can I solve this person's problem. So how does one identify the problems that need to be solved when you're in that entrepreneur space?
So I always tell people you can really find out what your target audience is and what they need by just simply looking, sitting back, observing. You don't have to post 20 times and ask the question. Just go in comments and see what are people complaining about. Why create products that nobody even needs or create products that people aren't even asking you about? Because you'll get mad, you'll get frustrated. If you just take a moment to sit back and watch and listen and learn, you'll know what products to create for your audience.
And so this whole idea of, you talked about, the art of leveraging connections. How does one go about leveraging an actual connection with someone else? Is it more than just a relationship?
So number one, make the initial connection. A lot of times on social media, people inbox and they never like the person's post. They never commented. My grandma always told me to have a friend, you have to be a friend, right?
Yes.
If you want somebody to notice you, go to their event, support their post, comment, have a conversation so that they're not blindsided by you just asking them for something. They're like, who are you? I don't know you. And, 9 times out of 10, you needed them. That's why you inboxed them. But what are you bringing to the table?
Yep, absolutely. And I find that, it's funny that you said that because I know in this world of social media, I will probably age myself, but before social media, the way you connected was actually, like you said, going out to events because we didn't have social media. You actually had to hit the pavement running. Email. Right. You had to email, you had to hit the pavement, and you had to actually meet somebody face-to-face versus texting somebody. And so with the connections, do you find that when people first make that initial connection, say that, they're going to an event, for the first time because they want to connect with this person, do you find more often that connection or relationship fails because they fail to follow up after making that initial connection?
Definitely, and that's why I said leveraging connection. So I tell my clients, out of sight, out of mind. Within 24 hours of an event, email, text, shout out everybody that you met there, because after 24 hours, the event is kind of out of sight, out of mind. The luster wears off, and they don't remember. And then hold people accountable. If they say, hey, I want to connect with you. Hey, I want to help you. I want to purchase something. Go right ahead, full speed ahead in 24 hours. Hey, it's nice meeting you yesterday. I just want to follow up on that conversation so you're not out of sight and out of mind.
And then just for your path, how did you get started kind of in your entrepreneurship with making the connections that you've made to this date?
So it's funny. My mom was a teacher, but she was also always an entrepreneur. She was a single mom. So my mom would do something called nanny care. It was like the weekend nanny where people could drop their kids off on Friday, come pick them up on Sunday. And she just always had some type of side hustle to make sure that we had things, so I watched her. But because she was a teacher, when I first told her, hey, Mom, I don't want to go to college, I want to open up a salon, she was like, no, we're going to college, girl. So fast forward, I came back to doing hair, and I ended up opening my first salon in Stone Mountain. It was called The Beautiful Brand, and all of my other businesses branched from that salon.
Wow. And because I read in your bio you have been very successful with opening multiple businesses. When you first began your journey with opening up that salon, did you stay in that game for some time before you ventured out for your next business, or were you already identifying as a serial entrepreneur?
So I started off doing hair, and I was booth renting. I ended up opening up a salon with 3 friends. One of the friends kind of backed out, didn't want to do the salon, and then my other business partner actually passed away at 33. She had a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
So at that time, it was very, devastating because we were both young, and I just had to figure things out. Yeah, I was making a lot of money in my salon, but we had started doing these spa parties in one of the big rooms that we had just because a client asked did we do them, and that kind of launched my Tutu Maniac business. So I decided after a long while that I just couldn't be in the salon anymore because I always thought about her, and I just focused only on Tutu Maniac.
And what is that?
So Tutu Maniac is a kids' birthday party company. We provide custom boutique-style tutus, headbands, and birthday sets for birthday girls. And we also do spa parties, paint parties, and tea parties for little girls. We come to you. We also have fashion shows annually at Greenbrier Mall.
Wow. My God, how do you do it all?
God.
There it is. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Well, we're going to circle back. So with the art of leveraging, the connections, for my listening audience, you are listening to Inspiring Nations with Sonja Keeve radio show in affiliation with Creative Broadcasting and Talk Radio and TV, LLP. And we have none other than the amazing Miss DeAndrea Byrd. And we're talking about the topic, relationships are the new currency. The art of leveraging connections, collaborations, and accountability. And so we were just talking about this whole piece about connections and its importance in the entrepreneur space because it starts with building a relationship and then, following up 24 hours after you make that initial connection so that you can be more successful in the entrepreneur space. And so the second tip you talk about the art of leveraging are collaborations. And first let me just say I have learned just over the last 2 years how powerful collaborations can be in this business because as an entrepreneur, you cannot be successful doing it all alone. So what is your take on the power of collaborations?
So number one, you have to have discernment. Just being perfectly honest, I made a few mistakes with collaborations. Number one, you have to make sure that brand is complementary to your brand and that brand has the same platform as you. So those are 2 things you need to make sure of before you even think about collaboration. Number 2, collaborations are an opportunity to reach more people. It gives you brand awareness with the audience that you never would have been able to get in front of by working together. It's also an even trade. You guys are complementary to each other, but you're both bringing something to the table to help push each other to a higher level.
And you said something extremely important. I never thought about discernment. And for those who don't know what that means, can you just elaborate a little bit more? What do you mean by discernment? Because I know what you mean, but for some of my listening audience, I want you to dive in just a little bit more for me. What is discernment?
So just in plain terms, discernment is the ability to make sure that is for you, to pick and choose and see through the shiny things. Sometimes things are presented to you in a shiny manner, but you have to take a step back and make sure, is this for me? Is this in integrity with what I say I want my business to be? Is this integrity with my brand, my vision? And am I going to have to, put my soul on the line for this collaboration? Is this for me, basically, at the end of the day? Just because it's here, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's for me. And what do I want? Before I get into this situation, I need to determine my level of success. So discernment is the ability to weed through the roses that are blooming beautiful and the roses that are wilted that still look shiny.
Girl, you got me shouting all over the studio right now. Yes. And so I know that you have, in your lifetime, and especially in business, have experienced getting burned by a collaboration. So how do you bounce back when you've experienced that, especially for new entrepreneurs?
So just to be completely honest, the first time I didn't. I was younger. I was emotionally immature. I didn't bounce back well. I felt like I had to have my point, or they had to understand me. And growing and having it happen again and actually learning, I learned that, number one, take whatever you can from those situations and profit from your pain so you don't do it again. Like, okay, what did I do to get in this situation? How did I feel before I got into the situation? What didn't I listen to? Why did I rush? Why didn't I rush? So learn from those situations and count it as a blessing and a learning experience. Number two, profit from your pain. Go out and create a webinar and teach other people how not to do what you did. People will literally pay for your mistakes.
Ooh.
Don't worry about having the last word. People will literally pay you for your mistakes so they don't have to have them.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And there are always lessons that you can learn in this entrepreneurship journey because it's not easy. And I'm sure that you have had your valley experiences, but you've also had your mountaintop experiences.
Definitely.
And yes. And so when you are coaching your clients, what are some of the challenges you find that they have when they're, whether they're brand new entrepreneurs or seasoned entrepreneurs? What, type of issues have you come across that seems to be a common theme?
Actually, it's two issues that I find. The number one issue is mindset. A lot of people don't think they can because they never did it before, so they lack the vision and the confidence within themselves. Number two, consistency. I tell people all the time, I'm no better than anybody else on one leg at a time. I'm going to get where I'm going no matter what because I'm going to be consistent.
Yes.
If it rains, I'm going to get an umbrella. If it's snowing, I'm going to put my snow boots on, but I have to finish what I started to get to the next level. So mindset and consistency are definitely, some of the things that I see other entrepreneurs struggle with regularly.
And then this is such a perfect segue into your last point of the art that you want to leverage as it relates to relationship being the new currency, accountability. And
that's
with
my favorite part.
Yes, with accountability, is it important to gain accountability with everyone, or do you have to be very specific and intentional with whom you choose to ask to be your accountability partner?
You definitely have to be very specific and intentional. Number one, your accountability partner does not need to be somebody that's related to you. Your sister, your cousin, your best friend, and thinks everything that you do is a great idea. They're not an accountability partner.
Yes.
But your accountability partner also can't be at a level under you that doesn't have anything to offer. So two hairstylists probably wouldn't make good accountability partners. A hairstylist and an accountant might make good accountability partners because guess what? You do hair. You can teach me how to look nice when I go into a corporate setting. I can help you when you get that cash, teach you how to deposit it and not spend your money. So you guys, I would say opposites attract when it comes to accountability partners. You guys have to be on the same level, but you shouldn't do the same thing because at the end of the day, what do you guys have to offer each other?
Wow. Yes, yes, yes. And so I talked about in your bio that you founded an organization called the Entrepreneur Accountability Squad. How did you come up with the idea to launch that?
So, number one, like I said, I am a giver. I'm the oldest child. I'm the oldest grandchild. I've always been like in the leadership position, and I've always been the one to say, let me show you how to do it. Yeah. So I've been giving out business advice for years for free, watching people go out and make lots of money. But it never clicked for me until 2017 I was talking to some other entrepreneurs saying, hey, would you guys like to do a challenge? We're going to do an accountability challenge because I keep seeing you saying that you can't get consistent sales on Instagram. So I'm just going to do a quick challenge with you. So it literally started out with just a few people. It started out as a challenge, and they were getting results. So my coach told me, like, hey, you're giving out so much value. You need to charge for this.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm not a coach. I don't want to do that. She was like, you've been doing it for free for years. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of you. Just charge. And then blossom, like, people started referring. They were getting results, and it turned into a full-blown coaching membership. What started out as a challenge and me just genuinely want to help people has turned into something that I love doing. We meet every Sunday night at 9 p.m. via Zoom Live. I have people getting contracts with universities for their tutoring companies. I have a security company. They're getting government contracts. I mean, it's been a blessing to them as well as me.
And I just have to say that I am just super impressed with just all that you're doing because you are giving back. And that's not something people always recognize, that your blessings come when you give of yourself and serve others first. And you said it at the top of the hour that when you are in business, you want to build that relationship. And so you're doing that and have been doing that, and it just seems like it's just such a natural progression. But what do you say to folks that say, I've, tried to partner with somebody, for that accountability, and maybe they, checked off all the boxes where maybe that person can give something, but then somehow in the middle the relationship sours. How do you kind of decide whether or not you jump into another partnership with someone else, and can you have more than one?
So I recommend you have at least 3 accountabilities for that point right there. And a lot of times people don't want to check themselves. If you're having a problem with a relationship with your accountability partner, ask yourself, have I been consistent? Have I communicated well? And what can I do to make this relationship better before you call it quits? Because a lot of times we want to blame other people, and sometimes it's you.
Yes, absolutely. And it goes back to that whole discernment piece that you talked about. Yeah. Yes. And so with your family, because, like you are a mom, you are a wife, you are an entrepreneur, do you incorporate your family along this journey, and how do they feel watching your success blossom the way that it has?
At first they were a little frustrated, especially when I had the because I worked so much, and I kind of had to figure out how to quit trading my time for dollars. And that's when I started creating digital products. But I've also inspired them. Like, my daughter started a T-shirt company, my 2 daughters, and it's called Bubblegum Vintage. They have a store on Shopify. And my son is interested in starting a T-shirt company as well, but he plays sports, so he doesn't really have the time that he needs to put into it yet. So we're still working on it.
Yes. And I love that. And what about your husband?
So he's always had an entrepreneur spirit, so he supports me 100%. He comes from a family of entrepreneurs that own, nightclubs here in Atlanta. So
okay,
he's definitely with it.
So the whole family is just running businesses, and the thing that I love about it is that as the for you and your husband as the parents, you are truly leaving a legacy for your children, because they're watching you. And they're inspired by the things that you're doing. And I love it when women especially, incorporate their children in their journey, because like you said, it can be frustrating, because sometimes when you're starting, you've got to put in the work first before you start seeing your seeds harvest. But when it does blossom, it is just an amazing thing to do. And so congratulations for all of your success and everything that you're doing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
And so, you are doing so much. So what is next on the horizon for you?
I'm actually thinking about launching a course creation class. Like I said, I haven't decided yet, just to teach other people that they can create courses and make money in their sleep. And there's so much information out here. We're switching from libraries to online courses, so people really need to take advantage and catch that wave.
Absolutely. And I know there's power definitely in course creations. And like you said before, once you stop trading your time for dollars, you got smarter about it and realized, why not create digital products? And I think that's the new wave for entrepreneurs, because, like you said, you can make money in your sleep. And in business, it's about working smarter, not harder, right?
Right.
Well,
Definitely
DeAndrea,
work smarter, not harder.
Yes. And so, this topic has, just been so amazing. And I know from my listening audience, I know that they were probably taking copious notes because you just hit on so much. And so just to kind of recap, with this whole idea of your relationships is truly the new currency to help you leverage your accountability, your coaching, and collaborations. I think what people what I would like for you to just share briefly, what do you want people to take away from this conversation with all that you shared?
Number one, just remember your network determines your net worth. Sometimes you got to be very intentional about who you have around you and who you invite into your business. But if you want to be a friend, if you want to have a friend, you have to be a friend. So if sometimes you feel like you can't find that right collaboration, look and see what you're putting out there and what type of person you're being as an entrepreneur. And always be thinking about how you can add value to other people's lives.
And so if people want to connect with you beyond this show, how can my listening audience get in touch with you?
So you can follow me on Instagram at DeAndrea Byrd. I'm also on Facebook at Book DeAndrea Byrd. My website is www.deandreabyrd.com, or you can shoot me an email at info@deandreabyrd.com.
And there you have it. There are just very easy connection points so that you can get in touch with DeAndrea. And before I let you go, I just want to add some final thoughts. I want you to finish this sentence for me, okay?
Okay.
I believe
anything is possible.
I know
that it's a blessing to wake up every morning.
And finally, what do you know for sure?
I know for sure that I'm always striving to be happy.
Well, Miss DeAndrea Byrd, it was truly indeed my pleasure to have you on my show today.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. I really enjoyed my time here, and I enjoy your show, so thank you.
And this is another edition of Inspiring Nations. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Inspiring Nations with Sonja Keeve Radio Show. I challenge each of you to perform one simple act of kindness and pass it forward. For more information on how you can be a guest on our show, visit www.sonjakeeve.com. We hope to see you next time.